की जानकारी आई थी कि एजिया और स्पेक्ट्रम के जो ड्यूज थे उसके ब्याज पर की रकम को कैश के बदले इक्विटी में कन्वर्ट करने का सरकार को मौका दिया था वोडाफोन ने, और इसके बाद आज इस पर एक अहम प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस हो रही है। आइए सुनते हैं।
Arising from deferment of spectrum installments and AGR dues. Our board of directors on 10th January 2022 approved the conversion of the full amount of interest related to spectrum auction installments and AGR dues into equity upfront. I will today clarify and elaborate on some of the key points of the recent announcement we have made in regards to this conversion. I will also try to address some of the key questions coming from the media community during this announcement. The net present value of this interest is around rupees 16,000 crores as per the company's best estimate. The detailed workings of the NPV of interest on spectrum and AGR dues have been shared with the DoT and is subject to change based on the conclusion of our discussions and final confirmation by the DoT. The equity shares will be issued to the government on a preferential basis. The relevant date of pricing is 14th August 2021, as communicated by the DoT. Since the average price of the company's share with respect of the relevant date was below par value, the equity shares will be issued to the government at par value of rupees 10 per share. Following conversion, the government will likely hold around 35.8% stake, while both the promoters will jointly hold 46.3%. The equity shares will be issued post-confirmation of the final amounts, as well as some procedural clarifications from the DoT. We believe the entire exercise will be completed in the coming months, post which the shares will be allocated through the statutory undertaking of the Unit Trust of India on behalf of the Government of India. In light of the conversion of interest into equity, the promoters have mutually agreed to amend the existing shareholder agreement and reduce the minimum qualifying threshold from 21% to 13%.
तो आप सुन रहे थे वोडाफोन आइडिया
प्रति शेयर के भाव पर ऐसा वोडाफोन के मैनेजमेंट ने अपने प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस में जानकारी दी है। ये फिर से एक बार रुख करते हैं प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस का, जहां से कुछ और डिटेल्स निकल कर सामने आएंगे।
Put in place and effected.
So I think the main thing is we have exercised the option now for this conversion. As I mentioned earlier, we have shared all our calculations for these amounts and how we have come up with this, the amount of shareholding that the government will have and all the details around that. We have shared all those calculations with the DoT. The DoT will, according to its letter, will be certifying all these calculations. I am sure they will be, given the complexity of the calculations and the numbers and the amount of data that has been shared, I'm sure there will be some engagement with the DoT to clarify and to some extent hopefully finalize and certify these numbers. Once those numbers have been certified and finalized, then the shares will be issued, as I mentioned again, through the statutory undertaking of the Unit Trust of India. And my hope is that all of this will be done actually in the coming months. It should not take a very long time.
Thank you, Ravinder. Some questions have come around the largest shareholder, single largest shareholder of the government with this option being exercised. And so what role do you expect the government to play in the management of Vodafone Idea Limited?
So I think this is seems to be a pet question, and I think we've talked about this before, but I want to reiterate one more time for absolute clarity. In all of our interactions, with the government leading up to the package itself, and even after the announcement of the package, I think it has been very clearly stated by the government that they do not want to run this company. They do not have the desire to take over the operations of this company. They want three private players in the market. They certainly do not want a duopoly or a monopoly. So I think the government has been very, very consistent in telling us that. They have made it also very clear that they want the promoters of this company to run this company going forward as well. So I can only reiterate everything that they have mentioned to us, and I've had personal conversations in many cases where they have reiterated these things. So I don't expect that to be deviated. I expect them to continue with that position. I can also say that the VIL promoters, which is Aditya Birla Group and Vodafone Group, will continue to manage and control the company and its operations as they have been doing in the past. I think I can also say on behalf of the VIL management in a very, very clear manner that we will continue to run. And our commitment is to continue to run a world-class professional organization that is very much focused on delivering a great customer experience and service delivery to our customers. We are committing to doing that. There will be no change in that. And certainly from a day-to-day going forward basis, we do not expect any of those things to change. So once again, the government is very clear. They want us to run the company. They want the promoters to run the company. And that is what we intend to do going forward as well.
Thank you, Ravinder. A follow-up question is, has the government confirmed that to you?
Yes, absolutely. As I said, they have, in all of my interactions, they've been very, very clear about that. So I'm saying that through personal discussions.
Yeah, thank you so much for that clarification, Ravinder. There's a follow-up question on the same topic. Will the government be appointing board members?
So again, this is a very asked question. So there is no condition in the letter that the DOT has written to us in the option that we have chosen to convert this interest into equity, which allows for a board seat for the government of India. So in that regard, I just want to emphasize again, the government has shown no intention, or we believe that they have no understanding in nominating any board members, and we don't expect any board members to be there. So again, the board of the company will continue, and all the operations as they have been will continue the way they have been so far.
Thank you, Ravinder. There's a slightly different question which has come up around, does this decision in any way change the role and commitment of the existing promoters?
I think, again, a very, very important question. So first of all, I want to be very clear and again want to emphasize that the engagement from the promoters, both Aditya Birla Group as well as Vodafone Group, continue to be very, very high. They are committed to the business. They are involved in decision-making in the business. They are participating in all and being very productive in all the decision-making that is the company is doing. And I can again commit to you is that they will continue to guide the business, and they are actively involved in all the decision-making of the business now and going forward. As you would have seen that they have accepted a significant dilution, actually to support the balance sheet of the company going forward, which again is a very strong commitment from the existing promoters to say that they want to make sure that the company stays healthy, and they are committed to continuing to progress the company forward in a very, very positive direction. And I think this is where we expect this to continue, and we expect their interaction and their role to continue to be the same as it has been in the past.
Thank you so much, Ravinder. There's a question on fundraise. In fact, people asking, what is the impact of this on the existing fundraising process that is underway?
Yeah, so I think we mentioned this before. We have been engaged with investors for several months now. I can confirm again very, very strongly that there is a huge interest in investors, especially international investors, in investing in India. They're interested not only in India, they're interested in the telecom sector, and we've had interactions with several of them. I think there were three main concerns that if I was to summarize, there were three main concerns that were coming up from the investors. The first one was, I think clearly, does the government want three private players in this?
Recording in progress.
I think the other part that was very clear was that they wanted to know, is the government going to support reform in this sector? Clearly, there have been challenges in this sector, and there have been issues in terms of stress and so on with the government support reform.
तो हम सुन रहे थे वोडाफोन आइडिया की प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस जो चल रही है, वहाँ पे मैनेजमेंट ये बता रहा है कि किस तरीके से अभी उनको फिलहाल सरकार से ये पूरी जानकारी मिल चुकी है कि सरकार की अब करीब 36% हिस्सेदारी होगी वोडाफोन आइडिया में, और पर इस पे अभी कुछ भी नहीं आया है कि बोर्ड मेंबर्स जो है वहाँ पे भी कुछ सरकार के रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स रहेंगे, और कंपनी का ये कहना है कि फिलहाल फिलहाल जो बोर्ड का कंपोजिशन है, जहां पे वोडाफोन प्रमोटर्स जो फॉरेन एंटिटी है और साथ ही जो आदित्य बिरला ग्रुप है, ये कोलैबोरेशन में जो कंपनी चला रहे हैं, वही इसके एग्जिस्टिंग बोर्ड मेंबर्स रहेंगे। कल हमने देखा था स्टॉक में एक भारी 21% की गिरावट हुई थी, बट आज जिस तरीके के सारे कमेंट्स निकल कर आ रहे हैं, मैनेजमेंट का भरोसा आगे जाके फंड रेजिंग और बैलेंस शीट को मजबूत करने पे पूरा बरकरार है, उसको लेकर अब स्टॉक में करीब 7% की तेजी देख रहे हैं। इस पे बहुत सारे वोडाफोन आइडिया पे बहुत सारे निवेशक थे जो कि फंसे हुए थे। कल भी हमने कई सारी क्वेरीज देखी थी इस पे आते हुए। एक राय ले लेते हैं। ब्रिजेश, आपसे जानना चाहूंगी कि वोडाफोन आइडिया, हमने कल तो एक भारी गिरावट देखी थी न्यूज फ्लो के चलते, आज तेजी देख रहे हैं, पर वॉल्यूम्स किस तरीके